Hello, welcome to Jenkins on Kubernetes demo. In this demo, I will show you how to run Jenkins on a Kubernetes cluster. Let's go over the requirements. You need an active GCP account, a gcloud binary, Helm 3.0 binary, and kubectl binary. Let's review the advantages of this approach. You can create scalable, portable architecture for your Jenkins installation. All you really need is a working Kubernetes cluster. And the good thing is that once you have a cluster, you can move the installation from one cluster to another without any problem. So, for example, you can start on-prem, then move to, let's say, GCP, and then for whatever reason, if you need to move from GCP back to on-prem, you can do that, or you can move from GCP to AWS. So this portability can help you avoid the vendor lock-in. The other advantage of this approach is it's based on infrastructure as code. So we have this Helm file, which is the source of truth for your installation. That file can be stored on a SCM server, and you can apply SCM best practices to that file. A high-level look at our architecture. We're starting with two pods, one for the controller or Jenkins master. This is where the master runs, and one for the agents. This is where the build agents would run. So on top of the pods, there is a Jenkins service object. It's a Kubernetes service object. This will route the traffic to the master. And finally, an ingress controller. The ingress controller manages the traffic that is coming into the Jenkins Kubernetes cluster. So the ingress routes the request to the service, and service routes the request to the master. Let's take a quick look at our Helm file. You can see the controller section here, the image that we are using, the tag that we are using, number of executors that we have defined, admin user that we have defined, Jenkins home, and resources that we have allocated to this instance. Now keep in mind, these are default settings and you can change them to your liking. So anything you want to change, you make the change in this file, save the file, and run the installation. Helm install makes it very easy to install plugins. As you can see, we have declared our plugins here in this file. Now, if you want to install more plugins, you can just declare them here, save the file, and you'll be good to go. The agent pod is also configured in this file. So you can see it is enabled true here, and the image name that we're going to use, the working directory, and even the resources that the agent is going to use. They all are declared here. And you can even define the volumes that may be configured for the agents. And there's also a cap that you can specify. So currently you can spawn 10 agents in your Kubernetes pod. That's the default in this case. You could change it to more if you like. Finally, the storage of your Jenkins master is also declared here. We are using an 8 gig volume. Now you can change it based on your requirements. So as you can see, all the configurations are stored here. They can be manipulated if you want. So this file then acts as the source of truth for your Jenkins deployment. That's all about the configuration. Now, without any further ado, let's move to the demo. We will start by creating a Kubernetes cluster in GKE. It's going to be a 3-node cluster. We'll create a cluster role binding, deploy the Nginx ingress controller onto the cluster, and get the IP address of that ingress controller. So we ran this script gke.sh. As part of this, we now have an IP address for our ingress controller, and we also created a namespace called Jenkins on our cluster. In the next step, we're going to use this IP address as a host name in our Helm file and go with the installation. Your Helm installation command will finish with output like this. So there are two pieces of information that are important here. The first one is the admin user password. So you need to run the kubectl command to retrieve the password. The second is the URL to your Jenkins instance. So let's run the kubectl to get the password first. This is our admin password. Let's save it somewhere safe. We will use it while logging into our Jenkins master. We are done with the installation. Let's try to access our Jenkins master. Pay attention to the IP address. This is the IP address of our Ingress controller. We're going to log in as admin. The password is what we retrieved through the kubectl command. Let's click on sign in, and there you go. So we have installed a Jenkins master on a Kubernetes cluster running in GKE. That's all in the demo. Thank you for watching. If you like this, please hit like and subscribe. All the source code used in this demo is stored on GitHub. I have pasted the link in the description. In a future video, I'll talk about how to use Jenkins to deploy an application in Kubernetes cluster. Stay tuned.